Hello everyone, my name is Jack Duncton and welcome to this little documentary of mine. We will be focusing on animation itself, YouTubers, and how they've made a living but also made enjoyment towards their fans on YouTube with their own little animations. So some of them you might recognise on other channels, under the channels of Boss7336 and the Pegbarains. So you never get to see sometimes what the animators do behind the scenes, but also get to see some of their own stuff they made on their channels if you like those sort of animations. So really, I hope you enjoy, and anyway, let's get to it.
My name is Martijn Kalkhoven. I'm 27 years old. I am from the Netherlands, and I specialize in character animation. Yeah.
I'm Florian Walraven. I'm 29 years old. I come from the Netherlands and I specialize in character animation as well.
So my name is Thijs Koole. I'm from the Pegbarains. I do character animation. The three of us made designed a character for our channel, and mine is Tintis, who is the small purple one.
Before I did animation school, I went for media design school, where I got to know. I was taught how to use Flash, and then I discovered Newgrounds for the first time, which is like this website for like Flash animators, basically. Then I learned animation actually is something that I could do. It's feasible, you know. It becomes a bit more like approachable as opposed to watching animations on the internet or like on TV or stuff like that. So I was like, I can do this, and I've drawn most of my life. Like when I was a kid, I drew a lot. So. I just developed this interest in making simple animations for Newgrounds first, and then I thought, I kind of want to do more than just making stuff for the internet. And then I started doing stuff for the internet. Yeah.
Good job. I started as watching cartoons and playing games, I guess. And I already knew either I want to make cartoons or I want to make games. But I didn't know there was like a school for that yet. And I think the first software I used was CorelDRAW. And they had like an animation program, and I tried some stuff in there, but it was very shitty. And I discovered Newgrounds as well, and I started in Flash. I think I've been animating for 14 years or something like that.
I did a bunch of media colleges, I think. Something, I don't know what I call it in English, but they're like specialist schools for learning specific job types or something. But here I first got in contact with Flash, Adobe Flash. And now Adobe Flash is like a drawing program with vectors, and you can animate in it as well, like make 2D animations with it. And there I discovered that you could also do really simple animations. I always thought that animation was something complicated, like something only Disney can do, but no, it wasn't. And then I discovered stuff like Newgrounds, and that was really cool. And then I ended up finishing that school and then going to a higher one. It was a specialist school for animation. Yeah.
So now you've got to know more about the Pegbarains, or what they do, where they're from, all that stuff. But you haven't seen their content yet. So without further ado, let's play a few animations of what they've done.
Say, what's the sea monster doing in a lake anyway?
Is this a lake? I couldn't tell from the simplistic background. That explains my rashes though. Fresh water isn't good for my skin.
Oh, you can use some of my lotion. It's waterproof. I get rashes on my palms. Fishing pole allergy.
Oh, why thank you. That's very kind of you. That feels so much...
Pikachu! Use like... Use the lightning bolt! Pikachu? Pika...
The point of force here is the gut where Jojo gets punched. Everything wraps around that point. Even his legs are getting straightened out more.
This is no ordinary punch.
What does this tell our mind? It tells us that the punch Jojo received is so hard that it overcomes the weight of his own body and the force of gravity that's put upon it. This is what I like to think about when I'm animating. Now, I told you we were getting to the nitty-gritty. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I? Fucking back to gravity. Look what happens next.
I think the I don't know. I like telling stories, and
The Great Pay.
Yeah, it's like the Great Pay. Oh yeah, man, swimming money. No, it's like I like telling stories, and I like creating characters, and I have like every animator has like certain scenarios and scenes in their head. Like, oh, I want to do that one day, and I wanted to be a comic artist first, like years ago when I was a kid, but then like animation is so much more like the good thing about the nice thing about animation is that you're so free to do whatever you want. Like like our school had other media related like arts courses, like audiovisual media, like just filmmakers basically, and so we had to work together sometimes, but you feel like you always like it's always so obvious who's the animator, because the animators are like, oh, we can do this, and then a thing comes in, and then fire and explosions, and then it has like 5 arms, and they're like, well, yeah, but we can't do that. We can't really do that because
we need props.
We need props for that, and locations, and like a spotter, and it's like, oh god, yeah. But animation, you just start drawing, and then you have a guy who breathes fire with 5 arms and explodes.
Well, I kind of came from a very low high school, I guess. So I didn't have very many options. So I like to draw. So that's like the standard stuff. I just really liked drawing. So I was like, I want to do something with drawing, and then I stepped into the whole cycle of doing the multimedia studies.
I think I started by watching old cartoons, of course, like Turtles and Dragon Ball Z later on. And I think my original why I liked animation, why I wanted to begin animation, is the technical aspect of actually making something that animates believably. And afterwards, it was more I was focusing more on telling a story and telling something that's funny, because I like to make a lot of jokes in real life, and I think that shows in my work as well. And now the animation technical part isn't that much on the forefront anymore, but more like creating stories. But once in a while I get the GPs or whatever you call it for creating something that's well animated.
It's very relaxed. We are just 3 guys sitting here making fun of each other and doing some animations. We try to make it more professionals by we have like a giant calendar that we work upon, and we try to set goals for the future, but it's all a learning process for the 3 of us, and none of us stand above the other. We're all equals here, and it really works for us. And I think if you start a company, a small company, the number 3, like 3 people, that's a really good number to have. Because if you have 2 people that aren't inclined on one, they have like different opinions on something, there's always like a third guy who can either go with the one or with the other or whatever, and it usually works out faster this way than if we would have like 4 or 2 people.
It's doing something like Kickstarter for a series or like Patreon, and then at some point Patreon contacted us. They were like, hey, I saw your stuff. I think Patreon would be a great fit for you guys. And we were like, yeah, we were actually talking about it already. Because I think there's a certain point in your head that says, I don't want to do this because it's you're asking for money for people.
Yeah.
But at another point, you're like, people really enjoy it, and we give something back, like Peg Tank and stuff like that. We had to really discuss that, because I was not really like I was. You weren't ready.
Highly skeptical about it at first, as well. Like and then I just don't like the idea of.
Yeah, I can understand.
So I'm still quite enjoying the Patreon thing. Like, we have this nice Skype group now, and it's a lot different. Like the atmosphere. I was not sure about it first, but now I'm pretty happy with it, the way it's going. And I still steadily growing.
Yeah.
When it comes to like pledges, so.
Well, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's also like Pegbarains especially just training for us as well. Just kind of like keep our creative flow going.
Now, obviously, it's really good for them to have their own channel, have their own content, and creating stuff. But have you ever seen their work they've done previously? If you may see on their channel, under featured channels, you see Channel Federator, which of course who they are with, but you also see 3 different channels: Rubber Raven, Thijs Tintus Cool, and Margin Koole. These are separate channels that they have made even before they made this channel together. So I'm going to be asking them a few questions, and a nostalgic trip of what their animations used to be like, so enjoy that.
Have you ever done stop motion?
Yeah, I have done our lip syncing exercise. I've done that. I had like a cardboard body.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like the jaw going down, its whole face went up when it's talking.
Oh, yeah.
And it had like just like electrical wires as arms, just bendable like copper wires as arms, and then I had like cardboard hands that were going like around. It was a scene from Monty Python with the French.
Oh yeah, I remember.
The French like garden on the tower.
Yep. Jotun, that was my second year film. I've done USA, Danger USA.
Danger USA, that's a good one.
My first style, I started to make like I really like stylized stuff, I guess, like more abstract shapes and all that stuff. So when I was in school, like the first year and the second year, I started to use like no lines at all, just like surfaces of color, and it just form shapes, and that way you have to really think about what kind of colors you use, which would help me develop my color use of color. And then I started making these abstract characters, and that was really fun for me. And that's a lot of like my second year short was all in those color shapes, and yeah. But then with the Pegbarains, it was just easier and faster to do it with lines, and I kind of stepped back to the line stuff, because in the end, it doesn't really matter. I just want to draw and like to draw, and I like lines, and I like it without lines. So it's all cool to try and do and work with.
You made 2 singles 7 years ago called Burritos on My Chimney.
Oh god, yeah, it's true.
And Shark Army theme song.
Burritos on my chimney. I don't know how they get up there. Burritos on my chimney.
I guess Burritos on my chimney was one that I just wanted to try and record something and then mix it up and make music, I guess. But I was never happy with the quality of the sound that I could record. I did it as a joke, and I did it as something fun to do.
So I will make one of my weekly reflections from my tutors, which is kind of like college work and all that stuff, and editing, when stumbling upon Boss's 7336 footage which I recorded. Premiere didn't really seem to like it that much, and when I was trying to move it around, well, this kind of happened. I'm kidding, it didn't actually happen. I mean, no, really? It crashed? You shouldn't bloody Okay, back onto Adobe Cloud. Premiere Pro, which should be here. Let's really quickly. Come on. Documentary, load. And there we go. Pause. So, as you may have known, at the time, well, you may not know, but at the time of editing, Peter decided to rename his channel from Boston336 to Loacher Films. He said it would be a more professional way, and also done a channel redesign. Obviously, I'm not going to redo the whole interview again, but there will be assets I will be changing throughout this as well. So, even though he will say Boston336, I will make sure that he does mean Loacher Films. So, hopefully that's not some massive confusion, and I'll let you guys get back to it.
My name is Peter Cikas, I live in Hungary, and my channel name is Boss7336, and I do 3D animations using Source Filmmaker. I think I got started like most animators that I know, we used to watch these old Garry's Mod machinimas made by Das Bullshit and El Toro, and we found that really funny and we wanted to replicate that. And I just kind of toyed around with Garry's Mod in the beginning, then found that more refined tools of animation fit my way of storytelling better. And that's how I found Source Filmmaker.
Gear up. We're going in. Are we rushing in? Or are we going sneaky beaky like? Shoot everything that moves. Okay. I'm ready. Lead the way. Roger. Stay frosty. Oh, crap. This is a proper mess.
Empire's finest. Requesting a cleanup team to courtyard 2A.
I love entertaining people, to be honest, and I love telling stories too, so I thought maybe I could incorporate the two and see where it goes. For beginners, it's really hard, and I found a lot of challenges along the way, but I had experience from earlier animation programs like 3ds Max. I used the student version in my early years, and when I switched to Source Filmmakers, I could navigate more easily than someone who's starting fresh off. But still, since it's a game engine, it has its quirks, and you really have to get to know it better. If I had to somehow deduce from the fact that I have over 2,800 hours in Source Filmmaker, I would say that like from 60 to 100 hours is what it takes to master the program. Well, not master the program, but get to know it on a basic level. And from that on, you have a base that you can constantly improve on step by step. So that base would consist of making TF2 animations.
How easy / hard is creating animation like yours?
Well, from my point of view, it's not hard, but time consuming. So for me, the challenge is not coming from the fact that I have to create complex movements or anything, but from the amount of time that has to be put into making these.
Your men confirmed his presence.
How rude. You have no business etiquette. Yes, he is here.
How sure are you?
How sure am I? See those? They contain roughly 2 squads. At least what remained of them after that scum sliced them apart.
At least the intel is solid. Take up positions inside the hall, stay hidden, and wait for my mark.
Alright, move out.
If I face some challenging movement or anything, I just go out to my room and I try to, well, pose the whole thing and record myself doing it, and yeah, it's an easy way of replicating, so it's kind of a cheap motion capture if you look at it that way. So it's not really hard, but time consuming.
Sword of Flame!
So you've just finally seen 2 of the YouTube channels from Hungary and the Netherlands of Loacher Film and Pegbarains. It was really cool doing this project. It took me a very long time. I am very happy and I'm glad that I'm finally getting this out here. So thank you so much for watching. I don't know if I'll do this again. It was a big thing, and again, I don't know if I'll do it. But thank you for watching, and ta-ta.
You put me in darkness, blindfolded. I can't see anything, no idea where we're going. I don't care anyway, cause it feels right. Take me where you wanna go. You lean in and whisper, don't make a move, I'll let you lead tonight. Maybe bandits and bruise, but the pain will subside. So shut up, you're covering my hand. Get up, I'm at you, come now. I'm in your sights and you got me locked in. You're holding me hostage. You're holding me hostage.